Families come in all shapes and sizes. Hi, welcome, come on in. My name is Aoife, and today I'm taking you through some of my favourite books that have the found family trope. This is one of my favourite tropes to read because it really does remind you that everybody can have a family, even if it isn't by blood. For a lot of people, family doesn't necessarily mean by blood. If that is by grief, if that is by abandonment, if that is by going no contact, for whatever reason, there are a couple of people out there whose family is more so something that they've built. And these books are exactly that kind of situation. It is a group of people who have all come together and have made a family out of each other. It's something that I truly love seeing because I love seeing people coming together and setting up this huge and unbreakable bond together. My first recommendation is the Bright Falls series by Ashley Herring Blake. I absolutely love all three of these books because they have got that huge family vibe in here. Delilah doesn't necessarily get along with her family. She doesn't get along with her sister. She doesn't get along with her stepmother. And the same can be said for Astrid. Astrid is Delilah's stepsister, and she has a rather tumultuous relationship with her mother Isabel as well. So when you see the two of them and their friendship group, Claire and Iris, actually get together and form their own special bond, I absolutely loved it. Particularly because they also pass this along to the next generation in Claire's daughter, Ruby. She really feels like one of the family. She feels like one of the group. And I feel like they have such a tight-knit bond, all of these women, that is just unbreakable. Highly recommended for its take on the found family trope is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sandhu Mangana. This is following Mina Moon, a witch living in England, and this is a very secretive lifestyle. She hasn't let a whole lot of people in. She hasn't really stayed in any place for longer than 6 months, but she is about to go and be kind of like a nanny or an au pair for 3 young witches who have been orphaned. In this world, after a witch has given birth, they pass away. So now the 3 of these children are left very much to their own devices with nobody to teach them how to control their magic, how to use it, and how to harness its power. So Mika comes to Noor House, a very isolated place, but with so much heart and love. And she really wins over the hearts of the 3 children, but also all of the inhabitants of Noor House, in particular Jamie, who is the grumpy, curmudgeonly librarian of the house. I absolutely love this book. This is going to be for October what A Christmas Carol is for me for Christmas Eve. It's one I'm going to go back to every single year to get me into the vibe of the season. The Spinster Club trilogy by Holly Bourne follows Amber, Evie and Lottie. Evie has just moved to the area and she is starting in a new school and she's not entirely sure where life is bringing her. She feels like she has ticked off all of the other boxes that life has to bring except for one. She's never been in a relationship. She's never even been kissed by anybody before. But she's keeping a whole lot of secrets from her new best friends. And when things start to open up, they really start to fund this incredible bond. A lot of it is driven by mental health problems that they are all 3 struggling with, different types of neurodiversity or mental health struggles, big interest in feminism and wanting to change the world, and just wanting to look out for one another. Back when I was in my YA era, this was my absolute go-to recommendation for anybody looking for a kind of an entryway into YA literature or a really good feminist novel. This has got a phenomenal found family trope in all 3 of the girls together. And I also really love the kind of spin-off novella set around New Year's Eve where all 3 of them come back together. I think they've been away for college for the last couple of months, and seeing their friendship redevelop and rebloom after they've been away for such a long time is just so wonderful to see. Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry is truly the coziest fantasy I've ever read. This is following Viv, who used to be an orc but has now actually retired from the battlefield and is looking for a much simpler and much easier pace of life. She has just moved to a new area and she is trying to set up a new coffee shop in an area where people don't particularly know what coffee is. So there's a little bit of skepticism from everybody in the town, but eventually word starts to get out that she has got these delicious pastries coming in every morning and that the bean water that she is making is far tastier than the leaf water that they have been doing for months and years. And I absolutely love watching the community gather around and welcome Viv into their hearts. But I also love watching her make roots and put everything into making herself part of this community. I haven't read Bookshops and Bone Dust yet. I think this is a prequel to Legends and Lattes, and it takes place in a bookshop while Viv was still active on the battlefield. And I'm not entirely sure how to go into it because when you know what's going to happen in Legends and Lattes, some of the things that happen in Bookshops and Bone Dust, I've heard you don't get as invested in it. Happy Place by Emily Henry follows a group of 6 people who were all best friends back in university, but now life has really taken them in different directions. They're all at a cabin owned by Sabrina's father, and it turns out that he is going to be selling it, so this is the last time that the 6 of them can get together. Among the friendship group is Harriet and Wynne. Harriet and Wynne have been engaged for a couple of years now, but about 6 months ago, they actually called off the engagement. But none of their friends are aware of this. Harriet and Wynne are brought together again and have to pretend to be happy families and have to pretend to be madly in love with one another so that they can keep the charade going for the entire week. I really enjoyed the discussion of friendship in this book, and in particular, how friendships can change as your life changes and as your needs evolve. As you start getting into relationships, as you start having families, as your career starts to take off, there are some aspects of your life that have to kind of fall to the wayside a little bit. And I really think that this had an interesting and a realistic look at what friendships are like when you're in your adult years. The Sisterhood of the Travelling Pants by Anne Brashears is one of the best depictions of teenage friendships I think I've ever seen. It follows Carmen, Tibby, Bridget, and Lena. All 4 of them have been firm friends, but they are all of very differing body types. Carmen finds a pair of jeans in a thrift shop one day and tries them on, and they fit her perfectly. And the same thing happens with the other 3 girls in the group. This pair of pants has miraculously molded its way to perfection on all 4 of these completely different body types. They decide that while they're in their separate ways for the summer, they are going to send the pants around the world. Bridget is away on soccer camp, Carmen is going to Mexico to see her family, Lena is going to her family in Greece, and Tibby is staying in the area. But they decide that this is the best way that they can keep in touch with one another and keep each other in their lives. They're going to share these clothes right the way around the world. And I absolutely loved this book. The movie that is based on this book is absolutely phenomenal. And as a testament to the found family in this book, all 4 of the main stars are still firm friends to this day. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman is another really interesting look at found family, because this is kind of the only people that Eleanor has in her life. Eleanor is very much a recluse. She has a completely set routine where Monday to Friday she goes to work, and then from Friday to Monday she kind of drinks herself into a complete stupor, gets up Monday morning, and the whole thing recycles over again. The only thing that breaks this up in her week is the 10-minute phone call that she has with Mummy every Wednesday night. After an incident outside their office, Eleanor starts to get to know Raymond, one of the IT guys in the company, and he starts to open her mind and open her world a little bit further than it had already been. But Eleanor is not the easiest person to be around at sometimes. She misses quite a lot of social cues, she says a lot of things that she really shouldn't be, or asks a lot of questions that are completely out of pocket. But you can really see the patience that Raymond has and the care and the respect that he has for her. And I really liked just watching this friendship blossom over the course of this book, especially when things start to take a turn and you realize that this book is a lot deeper than you expected when you first went in. Circle of Friends by Maeve Binchy is probably one of my favourite depictions of the found family trope. It's following Benny and Eve, 2 best friends from the sleepy suburb of Knockglen, just outside Dublin, and they have always had their sights on going to university in Dublin and kind of forgetting the small town life that they are leaving behind. When they do get to Dublin, there is a couple of things that have taken their world in ways that they never expected, including a tragedy back at home that brings one of them back to Knockglen, but also all of the friends that they have met while they are studying at university, living away from home for the first time, and all of the social things that are happening in Ireland in the 1960s and the way that it is trying to come screaming into the modern world. I love Maeve Binchy's writing style. I think she's one of the best authors that Ireland ever had to offer, and this is the best book that she's ever written. Finally, one of the coziest ever depictions of the found family trope is the Heartstopper series by Alice Oseman. It's not just Nick and Charlie who have found each other and found a safe place in this book, but it's also Darcy and Tara and Elle and Tao and all of their other friends who we get to know throughout the series. I absolutely love how much all of these friends are here for one another because they have gone through so much in their lives: homophobia, transphobia, mental health issues, eating disorders, familial problems, bereavement, and there's so much that they've gone through, but they are always there for one another and they are always trying to get each other through all of the difficulties. This is one of my favorite series of all time. These graphic novels are just such wonderful reading. Even though they are depicted for a YA audience, I think that this has something that people of any age are going to take from. And if I am ever needing a bit of a cheer up, or if I ever need something to pick me back up and get my reading back on track, I will usually go and reach for the Heartstopper series. Those are the books that I think take the best look at the found family trope. What book do you think does found family really well, or do you have any other recommendations for us? If you'd love to leave me a comment but you can't think of anything you'd like to say, then just leave me the hug emoji. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I have new videos up every week. Now, get on out of here.